All right, welcome back to Stock Tricks with Nick for this week's trading recap, February 8th to the 12th. We had another pretty solid week, up 2.71%, $1,200. Kind of kicking myself because Wednesday morning at, I don't know, 9 or 10 p.m., we were up around 3,900. But if you're trading, you probably saw the flush with the growth market. So got some choppy action Wednesday, Thursday, added some exposure back on Friday, and ended up the week pretty solid. Here are the notable winners and losers of my current portfolio. So this is from the time I bought the stock to the current price, not just what I'm up or down this week, but really wanted to reflect how important it is to hold on to your winners and really cut your losers short. And you can notice that the largest loser I have right now is SQQQ, and that's just a hedge on a couple positions that I've been adding while the market's been shaky. So if this is your first time tuning in, please subscribe to the channel. Leave a like if you enjoy the content and follow me on StockTwits, Twitter, and TikTok. If you're coming for a specific stock, the timestamps for each of the stocks that we talk about will be in the timestamp or be in the comments below. Oops. All right, quick agenda. We're going to go through each of the indexes, go through the TikTok Trading Challenge, how that went this week, go through the watch lists, Sunday's breakout watch list, and the midweek movers that I put out on Wednesday, and the open positions that I'm holding. Quick disclaimer, anything that I say is not financial or stock trading advice. This is all for educational purposes only. Please do your own due diligence while trading. Trading comes with financial risk. All right, so market recap. Growth flushed on Wednesday and Thursday, bounced back a little bit on Friday, but wanted to call that out. Tesla added Bitcoin to the balance sheet, so that's very interesting. Probably see some other companies continue to do that as well. I know Square kicked it off and Tesla joined them. And market continues to extend without much of a base to do so. So we'll go over that in the charts, but S&P 500 up 1.3%, Q's up 1.5, Dow Jones up 1.1, and the IBD top 50 is up 5.5%. So really extended, and the IBD covers kind of the top growth stocks that I'm typically trading. So 5.5% should have been a better week for me, but had to give some back during the chop. All right, let's jump to the charts. Start with the S&P 500 here. And as you can see, we did have that pullback a couple weeks ago, jumped right back into it, and then just some nice sideways up drift and closed Friday at the all-time high now. So maybe that pullback was all we needed. Check back to the 50-day to rally up and get going again. So looking strong there. Similar stories with the QQQ, closed right at the high of the day at all-time highs. You see on Wednesday, we pulled back to the 8-day exponential moving average. Buyers stepped in there, put it back up, but that kind of action on in the SQQ, or sorry, on QQQ looks like just a quick check back. For growth stocks that I trade, that was a pretty strong pullback that shook me out of a couple positions and really dented the P&L for the week. But market looks continues to look strong. Dow Jones more flat. You can see this is the price relativity compared to the SQ. I keep doing that compared to QQQ, and just hasn't been performing as well as the Nasdaq has, but still closing at all-time highs today. And finally, FFTY, the IBD top 50. You can see the pullback that we got a couple weeks ago was very drastic. Pullback about 10%, 9.6%. And since then, we just have extended. So now the market is right back to getting a little bit of that exuberance. And that's typically when I start playing not too defensively. I still have open long positions, but I'm quicker to cover my entries with a stop. I'm quicker to take some profit. And I do have that SQQQ hedge on, but jumped 15% since the pullback. Here's Wednesday's candle where we got out early, really quickly, and pulled back 3.4% just on Wednesdays from high to low, and then rallied back into the close there. So you can see if we zoom out, from September to kind of mid-December. We were in that chop box, very tough trading for growth traders, lots of flushes there. And then finally we really got out of that, had a quick, strong pullback, and has moved up since. All right, so that's going to be the market recap. Next, we have the TikTok Trading Challenge. So if you're new to the channel, I have a TikTok account, talk about stocks, personal finance there. All the money that I make from TikTok, I throw into a trading account, and then I let you guys vote on Twitter from my Breakout Watchlist that I put out every Sunday. I pick 4 stocks, typically the 4 stocks that I think are going to be the best setup to break out. And then let you guys vote on that. However, the votes are distributed is how I allocate the account. And this should say week 6, my bad. But at the end of week 6, the account is at 108.99. And here were the 4 stocks you guys had to choose from: RIOT, Plug, Tesla, and NNOX. And unfortunately, you guys did not choose RIOT, Riot. Only, what was it, 15% of the votes came in for Riot. And I was able to get an 82% return buying at the open on Monday morning and selling at the close on Friday. So, I mean, if you guys switched the percentages around, had 36% on Riot, that would have really caught up to my trading. You can see down here on the week, you guys outperformed me 5.4% on the TikTok trading account, 2.7% for myself. I'm up 21% almost on the year, while the TikTok trading account's up 11.8%. If at the end of 2021 you guys beat me on a weekly compounding basis, then I'm giving all the money that I make on TikTok and all the money that we make in the account away to people that comment on the video in the description below. So if you haven't already, all you have to do is put your Twitter or TikTok handle in the comments of that video. But let's go through some of the charts here. So we got the big winner. Let's start with Riot. With Bitcoin, or with Tesla saying they were adding Bitcoin to the balance sheet, and with Bitcoin just setting up to break out and breaking out over the weekend. I was expecting a strong move. I was hoping that we would open a little bit lower and then take out the high from Friday. That would have been a perfect buy point. We even gapped up over this kind of midpoint here on January 29th, but you could have taken this trade with a break over the all-time high right through here because it was coming out on a ton of volume. I personally did not take the trade, but well, I didn't take the trade in my personal account. On the TikTok trading account, got in right at the open price and sold near the close of the day. But you'd see tons of volume coming in here. The one check back day on Wednesday came on much lower volume, and then we extended further on Thursday and Friday. Massive move. Really strong action for RIOT. Next, we have PLUG. This was the one that you guys voted the most on, and one that I actually took the trade on. I bought on this day where we actually, let me do some measuring here. So we had a really strong breakout, 136%, pulled back to the 8-day, had another kind of move higher, pulled back to the 8 again. Things started getting tighter. I took the trade, I think on the 3rd, February 3rd, when we made higher highs, higher lows here and bounced over the 8-day. And where was Friday's candle? Friday's candle was this red day. So I was thinking possible add position would be if we break over Friday's high. We did that on Tuesday, and then unfortunately that just turned around, and it turned around on volume on Wednesday. So I got stopped out when we broke under Tuesday's low for a 4% loss or so. Again, always keeping those losses small, letting your winners run. That way you could be wrong half the time and still be a very profitable trader. But this kind of action where we opened higher, sold off all throughout the day, closed at the low, or closed lower than the 8-day, closed lower than the 20-day moving average, and on higher volume. Figured we get some drift lower Thursday, Friday. That's what we got. This is still a strong stock, and it could set up again. Definitely don't want to take it off my overall watch list. But even if we rally from here, we got a little bit of a volume shelf to work through. So maybe I would wait till a break over, I don't know, 70, 50, the high around here. That was PLUG. Next we have Tesla, and I never took this trade personally other than in the account, the TikTok account. This is one where we sold off on earnings, rallied back up, pulled back, and then would have been a nice pivot point right through here using the two highs here, 880.50 as a possible buy point. This candle got close, went to 87.77, 877.77, so never quite hit that buy point. So if you're trading from the breakout watch list point, you never would have taken this trade, which would have been good because we did have around a 10% pullback from there. Good action today, rally back up, but on much lighter volume compared to the sell-off on Wednesday. So not sure where Tesla goes from here. We'll see if we just get some sideways action. If because buyer stepped in when it came below 800 today, it went to 785. Buyer stepped in, pushed this back over 800, closed at 816. So that's a good sign that buyers are willing to step in, but needs a little bit of time before I try and trade it again. That was Tesla and NNOX. This is one that I did take, and I think I actually made money on this. So this was a name that so far in 2020 has been a big winner of mine. Took my initial trade on this inside day, broke out on volume there, had some sideways action, sold some into strength on this move, sold the rest actually kind of near the high. Not random. This looked like we were kind of setting a blow off top, but I mean, this could have ran another 2 or 3 days, another 30%, and I would have been out of the trade 30% early. So I typically sell too early in the move, something that I'm trying to work on, hold my winners longer. But in this instance, it worked out because the next day we flushed down, pulled back, tightened up, and I actually put the trade on. Where was it? I think it was just with a break over the high from the 8th. So just through here. We got out on volume. I did take some off, just a 10% trim at the end of the day, 10% or 20% on the follow through day. And then what I did, especially when things were getting so extended on Wednesday morning, I was up $1,500, $1,700, something like that. So instead of being really happy that everything's up and buying more as things break through pivot points that we were covering, every one of my orders that I made on Wednesday was selling. Quickly, I was selling into strength Wednesday morning, including NNOX, and then I moved half my stop to my entry. So that way, if this does flush, and it did, I'm at least getting out of half the exposure right at my entry. So I got a free look at the trade, and then the rest of the half, I forget exactly where my stop was, about 4%. So I probably basically broke even on this trade, even though this got out good, reversed back even heavier and on heavier volume. I think they did a secondary offer, and now this will need some time to actually find some buyers because this is some erratic action. So those were the 4 stocks that that I covered that were on the Sunday breakout watch list. RIOT was the big winner, and unfortunately, I picked 3 other losing trades for you guys because if we go to the full Sunday watch list, we kind of crushed it. Had 13 winners, 4 losers, average gain of 16.8% just on the week. So from last Friday's close to this Friday's close, the 17 stocks that I called out as possible breakouts, we had 16.8% return in just 1 week. The market during that time, again, 1.3% for S&P, 1.5 for the Qs, and then really what you should compare to FFTY, 5.5%. So still outperformed that by 11.3%, which is great. Crypto really drove this. Obviously, RIOT was up 111% from Friday's close to this Friday's close. Mara up 71%. UAVS up 28.2, GEVO 26.5, and the one big loser over 5% was NNOX with 5.2%. So let's cover Mara, UAVS, and GEVOs. So Mara, I'm going to do very quickly, very similar chart to RIOT. You see the breakout, pulled back, kind of a fake breakout there. Everything was tightening up. So my hope was on Friday we opened kind of sideways, or on Monday we opened kind of sideways, then took out this pivot point on February 3rd, which would have been 24.96, where we could have bought into that. Unfortunately, we just really gapped up, so I didn't take the trade myself. and gapped up and just kept running on that. So don't want to waste too much time on that. Just pointing out what in the chart made me put it on the breakout watch list. Next, we have UAVS, and this is one that I'm currently in. I played earlier on in the year, buying right through this pivot, selling into the strength there, getting stopped the rest kind of with a break under this low here. But with a really strong action like this, and it's doing all the right things from a volume perspective, heavy volume on the way out, very light volume on the way back in, I don't want to take my eye off the stock. So once it found some support at the 20-day, moved sideways, jumped up. I didn't take this buy, but when it came back in, right through here, I think I got filled. I think my average was right around 1235. So was trying to buy with a break over February 5th's high. Didn't get the perfect fill. Not a problem because it was coming with so much volume. It seemed like it was going to be bid up even after that, which is exactly what happened. Closed right at the high of the day. Then on Wednesday, extended even more. So I was selling into strength on Wednesday, and then moved my stop to my entry point. So we actually almost hit it on Thursday coming down here. I think we were maybe a dollar. No, not even a dollar. Probably like 50 cents away from my stop, which would have sucked. But after a stock gets out that heavy, I don't want to take a big winner as a losing trade. So typically what I'll do is move my stop to my entry. Then it's a risk-free look on the rest. And I'm not risking any of that initial capital while the market's extended, not many bases to fuel more breakouts. But that got bought up. Today we moved higher, closed near the high of the day. It's up a ton after hours too, but not sure what's going on there. But that's how I traded that one. Again, always trying to take the risk out of the trade once it's working in my favor. GEVO, the reason why this was on the breakout watch list, you had the 200-day, the 50, 28 all in the right order. Tons of momentum going through here, but you're not buying the stock when it's this extended because typically if you're putting a 5% or 7% stop loss like I do on trades, you're going to get stopped out just with a normal and healthy pullback as short-term traders take some profit. So didn't want to buy the name extended here, let it pull back, rally, and then set up that pivot point. So possible buy point was just breaking over the high from February 4th. That would have been 1266. We did so on Monday, broke right through there, and then got some follow through the rest of the week with some choppy action in the second half of the week. That was GEVO. So that was the breakout watch list. I put those out Sunday mornings, so tune in on Sunday morning for an updated list this week. All right, then we got the midweek movers. Didn't have time to do a live stream this week, but put out 10 different stocks that I thought had breakout potential in the second half of the week. Kind of a meh list. Average gain loss up 1%, so not many losers. Was really carried by BNGO, which is something that I traded personally. We'll go over that in a second. But I also did take the PLL trade as well, so we'll cover both of those. And market during the time did outperform me a little bit. FFTY got me by 1.3%. That's all right. I outperformed it by 11% with the Sunday watch list. All right, let's jump into some of those trades. BNGO. This is one that I took up. I traded this a couple times. So the idea was this was flagging out. Obviously, I'm going to measure this and it's going to look stupid. 3,300% in a couple months. That's a ton of power. But again, I'm not buying that extended because in a normal day, that's going to fluctuate 5%, knock me out. I'm going to wait for it to pull back, rally a little bit, pull back more, allow those short-term traders to take their profit, to cut some losses, tighten up, and then I can get an actual trade on. So, oops, hide that. So this was coming in. We had a couple daily highs hit that downward diagonal. I actually bought partial on the previous day as we rallied over the high from February 10th. Got stopped out of half of that. Actually today when we pulled under, hit my, I did a bracket stop where half my size was at one stop, half my size was at a lower price, and that allows me to stay in the trade. Or I guess it takes the exposure off the trade if it starts proving wrong, but keeps me in the trade if it's just wrong for a little bit, checks back, and then goes. So I got stopped out at half and actually put more size back on after we rallied over the high from today. And you can see it extended further. So really good volume with the extension today, closing near the high of the day, right at that upper Bollinger Band, and then again on volume. And this is a very powerful name, so I don't want to take too much profit early. I did take 25% off, and now my stop is at my entry. So taking the risk out once it starts working for me. Wanted to cover TLS as well. This is one IPO high tide flag that had this really nice shakeout on Wednesday. That's why if we did rally back above the high from Tuesday, that would have been my buy point, and it still might be. We got just some downward drift on extremely light volume Thursday and Friday. So this is definitely not off my overall watch list. I'm not sure if I'll put this on the Sunday one. Have to do some research this weekend, but when you get these IPOs, high tight flag, so 90% or more, 8 weeks or less, and then only 25% from the highs, not many traders are trying to get out of a really powerful name. And you get a shakeout like this, it's basically aligning everything that you look for in a perfect setup. But sometimes that brings everyone's eyes to that perfect setup, and then the market will give you the opposite. So this is just kind of lulling some breakout traders asleep as we make lower lows, lower highs. Hit some resistance at the 8-day and the 20-day moving average, so needs a little bit of time to set up, but might be one to keep a close eye on, set some alerts for. And then PLL, this is one that I took today. Let's see, I don't think it was quite a high tide flag. 152% up, 28% down, so a little bit extended from that 25% requirement, but ran back up on good volume, pulled back on lower volume, and then today we undercut the previous low, and then we rallied back, not over the high, but high enough where I wanted to get on the action. So right now I'm down about 1%, 2%, I think it is on this trade, but not too scary. We hit the 20-day, rallied from that, so some buyers are stepping in at that price. Let's see if we can get some continuation next week. All right. Those were the midweek mover stocks that I wanted to cover. Now let's get into the stocks that I'm holding going into the weekend. So I am 41.1% net long invested. I have 51.4% in long positions, and then I have this 10.3% SQQQ long. So this is like a triple short hedge, and probably too heavy on this. The fact that we continue to extend without any base breakouts, that's concerning to me. And typically in that environment, when we get a pullback, they're typically really quick and really powerful. So that's why I have this SQQQ hedge on, just in case some of these stocks really flush down. I want to way to hedge that. But these are the strongest growth stocks that I trade. So if the market stays healthy, these are going to way outperform the SQQQ, and I'll still be profitable. So Pac B has been extremely strong this week. I went from 10% of the portfolio, cut some into strength to down to 5 or 4.9. For the most part, trading on half size positions. Typically my full size is 10%. So right now I have 11 trades on from 5 to 10%, 4 from 0 to, or this should say from 3 to 5%, the others from 0 to 3. Most of the 4 here are partial positions. So growth, again, it's extending. Breakouts are still happening. Some are holding, but they're coming from very thin bases or very short bases. And typically when that happens, when there is a pullback, it's drastic, it's heavy, and I don't want that to take out my full portfolio. So Let's take a look at some of the stocks that I'm currently holding. NEO is one. This is one that was on the breakout watch list, pulled back and set, let's see. I was in this a little bit earlier, I think on the 4th, but pulled back, broke back over that. So you could have put the trade on the 8th. Got really going on the 9th with good volume. So this looked like after a lower volume drift down to the right, that's exactly what you're looking for after this was like a 50% breakout, 58% breakout. You look for low volume pullbacks. Had a nice pivot formed here, kind of a perfect buy opportunity on the 9th. Good volume coming on the way out. But then we got 3 days of lower volume pulling back. Wednesday was kind of erratic. I got stopped out half at my entry point, so still holding a half position there, a little bit lower at 5% or so of a stop loss. But I was playing defense on Wednesday when everything was breaking out in the morning. I was selling into strength, moving some stops or partial stops to my entry to take out the initial capital risk. And that's something that you'll always see me do. I mean, this isn't a bad pullback. Again, lower volume. If the market turns around, if the market stays hot, might see just a check back from here, and you could take it with a break over Friday's high, sitting on the 8-day exponential moving average right now. Next, we have LAC. This was a past trade of mine. Again, trying to cover how I trade defensively, even though I'm trading the strongest growth stocks. This is another one that Leif Sereda put on the trading platform. Want to give him props, but I was also watching this myself. Very strong action, 211% through this breakout. Pulled back here, let's see, 35%. So after that, this is the lower pivot that took the trade on this breakout on the 8th here. Sold some into strength that same day. Sold some on Wednesday into strength because this was a really heavy position size. I had 12%, 10% on this trade because we broke out on such volume. This had such power that I wanted a good position size on. So when things were so erratic on Wednesday, I was quicker to size down, take some off into strength, and then put my stop at my entry. Got stopped out on Wednesday, and that I took maybe 25, 30% of the trade off into profit, protected my entry, no capital risk. And now I have no hard feelings or anything towards the stock. If this sets up again, maybe we get some sideways action. We can use Friday's high as a possible buy point again. So always protecting that initial capital. And Solo. This is another one. Started to really base out here. Looked like we were kind of making the right side of the base. I bought in at 808. That was my entry. I think it was on this day when we rallied back. We tested the 50, tested the 20, bounced over that, and took out the previous day's high. So got filled at 808 through here. Sold some into strength, but then again, moved my stop to my entry. It looked like this was probably going to shake me out, and it did right at my entry. But this is one that, if we zoom out a little bit more, this had a super powerful move. And if I could stay in the trade, still with risk-free, I want to do that as long as possible and give it some time to attract buyers. But unfortunately, I hit my stop, and I always listen to my stops. So, and there was good selling volume on the way down, which is always concerning. Lighter volume today on the sideways action. This might just fall back, test the 50-day, or really move down. And I don't want to be a part of that. I only want my money in the market while the stocks are moving up and are in my favor. All right, that is going to be the trading recap of the week. Again, pretty solid week, up $1,200, was up around 38 if I just sold everything on Wednesday, but you never know how far the market's going to extend, and I was in strong names getting stronger. So as long as I'm protecting my initial capital risk, I'll keep trading aggressive like that. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and follow me on StockTwits, Twitter, and TikTok. I'll see you Sunday morning for the Breakout Watchlist for next week.